Welcome along, everybody, to the third game of our Monday in Luna League. We are going to be looking at a game between BBZ and Fraud Squad. I'm joined by Brendan today. Welcome to the
Dang, you said
draft.
that so depressed. You sound disappointed that you're joined by me, man. What's going on?
No, it's all good. But we do have a game between two teams that have a lot to prove today. We've got a game between BBZ, or a game from BBZ, where this is a game that is a necessary win for them to be looking at a first seed for playoffs. And we've got a game on the other side from Fraud Squad, where this is a game where this will kind of help push them towards either an elimination or qualification for their playoff run. Looking at 3 and 7 at the moment with TAS very close behind them. This is an important game for both teams. Obviously, BBZ wants to try and lock down that first place seed if they can. Bans come through, first pick a Mumu.
And as you said, with last game UB actually losing to H block, technically BBZ does have a chance of getting first place with how the odds are looking. And Fraud Squad in general, this is a huge week for them. If they go 0-2, it's going to look very bad for them. I think they face SKL tomorrow, which is very huge to the standings in general, since Fraud Squad's 3 and 7 and SKL is 1 and 9 at the moment.
Yes, and it's going to be a tight game following this one up, which is going to be whether or not TAS can start to make their playoff run. It's going to be between those two teams on the bottom end. The Jinx is the first lock in there from Fraud Squad. Looking to go on the scaling end from Fro Murphy. Now we've seen Fro Murphy actually have a lot of success in the early stages of the game on that Jinx previously. But Fraud Squad is the team kind of failing to play around it in the later stages of the game for Murphy, getting caught out in those later team fights. And we haven't really seen that Jinx at its peak yet, but it's been very effective in the early parts of the game for Fraud Squad.
So with the Jinx lock-in, I'm expecting a Enchanter, and they do not take an Enchanter.
I'll pick a Leona.
That's
Fresh, of course,
interesting.
the other option.
It's very good with the CC lock, of course. Jinx works well with champions that can hit a champion down. She can put her chompers down and get a lot of damage out. I would prefer she did an Enchanter just because Jinx is a kind of hyper carry that needs Enchanters to really, especially now because I think she's a little bit weaker with all the nerfs that are currently happening to her. But Jhin locking, which is a very good AD carry at the moment, which is not picked enough in FOF, by the way.
Will be a Jarvan. I imagine that is going to be going into the hands of Dax, so we're going to see Orphic on that incredibly dominant Amumu at the moment. LeBlanc locked in on the other side for the first 3 picks of the draft. I like seeing Dax on an early game like oppressive jungler. He's very, very good at getting in early, getting in on teams, and making sure that the momentum can be on the BBZ side. And generally, we see that BBZ is able to roll with that momentum and keep it going forward through the rest of the game, and that's how I see BBZ picking up a lot of their wins.
So technically speaking, on BBZ's side, Jarvan can go in pretty much any lane. He can go in support, mid, jungle, and top, but he's best at jungle at the moment. It's very interesting. Jarvan can technically go support, like with Lucian. I actually think it's very strong. I think we saw that with an FOF recently, actually. I think it was last week. A team picked Lucian and Jarvan.
Yeah, I don't imagine that we'll be seeing it. Obviously, Jarvan as support comes with the poke is very nice, but obviously the attack speed with Flag is a big part of it. And Jhin, not the biggest fan of attack speed. Alawi, Shinzao, Gangplank, and Ryze banned out. A couple of solo lane targets on the side of Fraud Squad trying to take some power away from those lanes. Obviously, BBZ yet to draft a lot of damage on their side. The Jhin and the Jarvan obviously can pump out, but they're not at the higher end. Speaking of pumping out, In-Out is going to grab the Fiddlesticks for the jungle. That is a high damage pickup. And looking like a very high damage composition all across the board on the side of Fraud Squad.
Fiddlesticks champion's come in recently into the FOF meta, and I think it's a very, very strong champion because it preys on coordination in teams. BBZ, of course, is one of the most coordinated teams in FOF, really. So I'm interested to see how they are going to really deal with Fiddlesticks in general.
Looks like the Lissandra is going to be the option there. Maybe try and get a lockdown on one of these picks. This LeBlanc is going to be a threat, roaming into those backlines. Same with the Fiddlesticks. I think that front-to-back team fights are going to be very challenging for BBZ, and they're going for a lot of dive as a response. Leave the Jhin on the backline, leave Jhin very far away from these fights. And
so I actually think this Lee Sin's gonna go top. Me and Jaffe have a lot of experience together, and he loves Lee Sin top. So if he disappoints me right here, I will be very furious. I will be messaging him.
No, I'm actually quite confident. This seems like very much a Jaffe pickup. Sometimes Jaffe's got those. Jaffe just loves those bruisers in the top lane. Jaffe likes to be able to do Jaffe things, as you put it in the past. We're gonna see this final pickup for Papa Bear in the top lane. It's looking like it could be the Shen, and it is going to be the Shen. So lots of engage, lots of go buttons on the side of Fraud Squad, and kind of a difficult team fight for BBZ that could, in fact, shut down the composition of Fraud Squad with that Jarvan to disrupt, with the Lee Sin to disrupt, the Lissandra to disrupt. I think that this actually could be a good composition, but the simplicity from Fraud Squad is going to be very nice from them, and if they can get ahead in those lanes, it could be devastating.
There's so much CC on both sides. I'm really going to be looking at if people pick up Cleanse this game, and when they get QSS, they do not have Cleanse.
Yeah, no, definitely. Fiddlestick's going to be sitting out in those brushes on the sides of fights, getting ready to go in along with that LeBlanc, with the Shen backing both of them up. I think this is going to be BBZ's game to kind of play cautious, and I think you're right with those cleanses are going to be important with the CC immunity, everything that they can do to try and get away from these pickups. The Leona in the bot lane could be a bit of a worrying thing. I'm interested to see how this Mumu works into that Leona. I haven't seen that match specifically yet as we roll into game between BBZ and FS. Big games, neither of these teams really competing with one another, but big games for each of them individually.
Yes, that's very true, because that coveted 6 spot that I was talking about, because of course playoffs right now is 1 through 6 with each league. And right now FS holds that 6 spot there. There's going to be an invade right here.
Ooh, big flash onto Papa Bear now. A little bit of damage up from Morphic, but I don't know if there's going to be a follow-up. Yes, there it is. Immediately on top, the snare comes out. First blood picked up by BBZ, and a very quick roam into the top lane bush to pick up that kill onto Papa Bear.
This is very smart by BBZ. They actually played on this vision spot, because if you see, they walked around this certain they walked down the Fog of War portion. If you walk straight into it, you get a lot more time to react from Papa Bear's side. But they did this like C kind of movement that plays around the Fog of War, and it gives you a lot less time to react. For some reason, Papa Bear did not flash, unfortunately, though.
Yeah, no flash burned there. Both sums down from Morphic, picking up the kill for red in the mid lane, going to try and find some pressure onto that LeBlanc. Obviously, LeBlanc can be such an impressive laner. Lysandra, very good at shutting that type of stuff down, just using the wave clear, using the CC to get away. And I like that we've seen this response from FS to get these wards down into the red side jungle of BBZ to make sure that they can try and track where the spot lane's going, but more importantly, where Dax is going.
Yeah, it's very smart. You saw that BBZ committed 4 members in the top lane, and then it's a free invade on the side of FS to drop in some wards, get to know where this Jarvan's going to be going, and the spot lane and these kind of things. Very smart.
Yeah, and the start on the bot side from Fiddlesticks as well, there was a ward that went very deep there from Dax to try and get vision of that red buff and try and keep vision on those Raptors. We see Fiddle often like to start the double camp, and we're seeing Fiddle looks like started a double camp attempt between blue buff and Wolves, but only got the Wolves. I'm not totally sure, but yeah, no, normally we see Fiddle starting on that top side, maybe looking to try and get some pressure up in that top lane, or maybe top side of mid. Obviously, a lot of gank potential in all of these lanes, but Fiddlesticks is not an early ganker. However, Dax on this Jarvan is an early ganker, starting to make a roam towards bot lanes. We see a little bit of trading in the top side of the map, but now Dax starting to make his way forward. The Banish Toss lands onto Fro Murphy. Cleanse already burned, going very low, burns the flash, but Tef is going to burn that 4th shot and take down 1, take down 2, and only missing a couple more kills for that Jhin to be really happy, but that is a good early play from BBZ. Nice
Banish charge by Orphid. They caught it out FS spot lane before they can even get to level 2. Pretty much photograph gank by really Jarvan. When you see a Jarvan, you have to look out for these level 2 ganks. Of course, his Flag and Drag is very volatile and can kill you pretty easily. Smart by Fiddlesticks in response, and Yauch and Mouth going to be invading the blue side jungle.
Yeah, just finding his way into that topside jungle. They have that vision down, and I'm very surprised that, I don't think that BBZ was necessarily aware that it was there. Obviously, they can predict. They put 5 people top lane with the Jarvan going deep for that red side ward. They can predict that there's vision there, but I didn't. You'd expect BBZ to play around that a little bit more, but especially you'd expect FS to react to it. You get those deep wards to track that Jarvan. You know he's starting on the bot side. Yeah, it's going to be a little
really
fight
big.
Look at where Jaffe's positioning is to flank in out on top of him immediately in the chase down. I don't think Red needs to be here, but Red's going to snag that kill. What a flank from Jaffe. How did he find his way there?
This is literally just Jaffe thing. Something about Jaffe, he just lives, when he's on blue side, lives in the enemy's red jungle. For some reason, there's going to be many times where Jaffe's just sitting there. From all the times I played with him, he does this a lot. Yeah, very smart flank by him.
Yeah, super beneficial for them there, catching the Fiddlesticks on that crab. And now there's gold advantages in every single lane right now. Obviously, CS in the top lane, CS in the mid lane, double kill in the bot lane. BBZ just looking dominant in this early game, and a lot of it has been around that Jarvan so far. Like we were saying during the draft, Dax is so proficient on these early game champions and getting BBZ ahead. Dax is such a solid voice in the jungle for BBZ as a team, making these very good shot calls cross map, getting his team to play, and BBZ is so good at following that lead. But having such a decisive voice on such a decisive champion has been very good for BBZ so far this season and very good so far this game.
So overall, for the people that have read the Luna power rankings, I've been very critical on the side of FS when they're last hitting minions. Right now they are tied, but this is a tiny mistake. When it comes to macro, I was going to see a gank here, probably. I don't think Papa Bear's going to die here, though.
Nading in Papa Bear. There's the flash flag drag under turret. Papa Bear getting down to half HP, but Jaffe too low from the initial trade, unable to follow up. Flash burn there from both Dax and from Papa Bear in the top lane. So overall, not a terrible gank. I mean, that's the third gank from Dax. There's been resources burned. I suppose there's been one play in the jungle, but resources burned across the board, getting flashes, both sums out of, or 3 sums out of bot lane, gotten the flash away from the Fiddlesticks, and now flash away from Shen. And Gouchmaster, I believe you're next on the hit list.
What I really want to see from this FS bot lane is I want them to push this lane. Oh, they might be holding it for a Fiddlesticks gank at level 3, by the way, which is not very good. Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. This is not good.
Gonna try and go for that fear. There's no lockdown from Raw Dog Ross so far. And now has already gone down to 200 HP. There's TP from top lane, but there's the first kill immediately. Orphic starting to walk towards Fro Murphy, but here is Red with the lockdown on top of Fro Murphy. A late TP reaction from Gouchmaster in the middle lane. Double kill now for Orphic. Bandage toss picked up onto Gouchmaster, and that is going to be a third kill over to Tef. As it does go over to them, they pick up that third kill, and now it is 7-0. Such a big gold lead at only the 5-minute mark. This is looking like BBZ's game.
Very smart engaged by Orphic. A lot of supports in general do not engage on that Fiddlesticks when he's coming like that. The Tef and Orphic I've been very critical of, and they've been really improving since I've been so critical of them. Very smart by them to react to the Fiddlesticks. And of course, Fiddlesticks is level 3. He's so far behind. And this is one of the problems with In and Out Your Mouth in general, is he is very bad at knowing when to farm the gank.
Top lane, there's the silence. Now can Jaffe get away? Does have flash available. Dragon going down on the far side of the map. There's a follow-up fear. Papa Bear does not feel comfortable going in because of that kick. Jaffe gets the double. It looks like they're just going to have to walk away.
He can kill him here.
Yeah, maybe wanting to follow into the jungle there a little bit. But good cross-map play. They see the Fiddlesticks in the top lane. They just decide, you know what? We can take this dragon for free. They grab that initial Drake. We're going to be looking at either an Infernal or a Mountain Soul moving forward. And that will just bring down the hammer even harder on the side of Fraud Squad.
And Jaffe right now has just been perma pushing this lane. That's one of the problems with Jaffe in general, is he's very aggressive when it comes to lane management. He's always usually trying to push into lanes so he can do Jaffe things, and he's been pushing this lane throughout of it, and he's not been punished for it at all right now.
Yeah, I think knowing that
CS lead?
I would like having such a large CS lead. I think that comes in part just to putting a lot of those minions underneath the turret there. Papa Bear struggling to farm underneath the turret, but also he's had priority in the mid lane. The jungle is so far behind. When you're in these side lanes, it's really nice when you know how far behind the jungle is that they can't really afford to gank, especially Fiddlesticks, who relies on that level 6 so much. And Jaffe can afford to be this far forward. It'll be interesting to see if he starts to make that rotation in the later parts of the game or kind of in the middle stages, whether or not he reacts to finally catching up on the CS and on XP mainly.
All right, let's see if FFS knows what they're going to do right here. Jarvan they should predict that Jarvan's around the level 6, level 7 portion, which is a prototypical gank that he's going to gank bot lane as he invades the blue side right here, I believe. Does Fiddlesticks know he's there?
And it does have flash available. I don't know if, I think they just passed each other like ships in the night, but they're not going to pass each other here. Dax, low-kin hanging out, immediately getting feared on top of the chompers. No, Shen ult comes in. Now there's the engage from Orphic. Tef walking very far forward, and it is going to go down to the Leona of Raw Dog. Another kill going over. There's a second kill going over to Fro Murphy. Not quite picking up Dax, but now so much damage from this Lissandra. That Q dealing so much damage. Gouchmaster barely getting on top of Dax. They're missing the EQ flag drag from Jarvan, and that is 3 kills given over on kind of a botched invade.
Fantastic reaction by FS to react to that. I was actually really surprised how quickly they reacted to it. Of course, from BBZ, that's a little bit overextension just because your top lane cannot TP at the moment because it's down. And now Shermat's going to die here.
It's very close. Obviously, Fiddlesticks has that ridiculous healing when he's low on HP there. But yeah, no, a good reaction there from Papa Bear to get on top of the Fiddlesticks. Wow, yeah, so much HP. Good reaction, though, from Papa Bear. Getting on top of the Fiddlesticks with that ulti, keeping him alive. And then just Dax and especially Tef going way too deep for that kill. When you're the ADC, it is so important to just stand at the back, hit the closest target. You're more important to deal damage than to get kills. And Tef fails to do that, but now there's the kill onto Fro Murphy completely unassisted, but now Tef has to try and retreat as Papa Bear has come into the bot lane. There's the Curse of the Sad Mummy going down onto 2, Raw Dog down to half HP, but Orphic has gone lower. Tef barely able to put on any damage onto either of these tanks. Obviously, Jin better with squishies, and there's the Zenith Blade on top of Tef. Are they going to be able to find their way out of this? No, there's so much damage from these 2 tanks, and there's the tank League of Legends that we love to see. Double kill for Papa Bear on that TP, and so far great roaming on the map. And I say that mid-engage from in-out, immediately getting on top of that level 6 play, but I don't think Red has a way out of here. No ulti available from that play in the jungle, and there's the shutdown from in-out, and now we start to see this claw back at this level 6 from Fraud Squad.
Fantastic silence by Out Your Mouth, and of course, Fiddlesticks level 6 gank is very important for his champion, just like Twisted Fate's level 6 power spike. He needs to get a kill really with that level 6 to get ahead. That's what he got. He's still level 6, level 7, but it's very huge for him. He's down almost 20 CS, but very smart by him. And on the bot side, good TP by Papa Bear to react to the bot lane play.
Yeah, the 5 to 10 minute mark has been very much on the side of Fraud Squad. They've been able to pull this gold lead back a little bit. Obviously, this still doesn't favor them, but when you look at the compositions, you do have that late game scaling of the Jinx, of the Fiddlesticks. I think that could mean a lot going forward for Fraud Squad if they're able to hold on to this gold deficit, not bleed too much more, maybe get some kills back like they have been for the last little bit. Say that in out is top lane, Jaffe hanging in this tri-brush area, trying to pressure Papa Bear off of the wave. Maybe missing a little bit of CS himself, but now getting that engage, and we see hanging the Fiddlesticks off. Dax was there to support. Might see a 2v2 in the top lane now. Fiddlesticks starting to go for this ward. Rift Herald was started off by Dax. I think they're just going to jockey back and forth. Red maybe with the flank walking over a pair of pink wards. And it looks like we might just look at Rift Herald.
In general, I'm very impressed with how Dax has played throughout the entire season. He seems to know where to be a lot, and he's always in the right place at the right time, which is really important. I think it's the most important skill for a jungler in general. He's shadowing Jaffe right now. You saw him play very aggressive into the top side. And I think he's gonna get vision control over the Herald, which is important. Dragon's gonna be up right here, so I want bot side to see if they can fight for pressure, and mid lane to see if they can fight for the push right now. Gouchmaster has the push in the mid lane, and he's gonna back, which is a pretty bad back time just because Dragon is coming up right now.
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to opt out of that one, obviously. Doesn't quite have that teleport available, won't be able to get on top of that if the Dragon does get started. Dragon getting started now, I believe, by in out, maybe just clearing some visions. We start to see the rotate over from the FS bot lane. Gouchmaster trying to get some damage down onto Red. Missing a lot of those skill shots so far. Red starting to trade back actually really effectively. Maybe going to try and catch them rotating into the jungle. The Fiddlesticks ulti is available right now as they try to go into Raw Dog Ross. 3v3 at the moment. There's the Shen ultimate. There's the Fiddlesticks ultimate. Immediately burning down though Raw Dog Ross. But there's two people caught inside of that Fiddlesticks ultimate. Dax and Orphic going down. Red trying to escape. Just get out of that situation. And it is immediately kills back for Fraud Squad. They're on top of this dragon now, taking it down. The Mountain Soul is ushered in. But great play there, just using the Shen ultimate, using the Fiddlesticks. They have all 5 people there for that dragon, and is Jaffe going to be able to get anything off the top side of the map to try and punish this play?
This is why I'm such a huge supporter of the Fiddlesticks pick in general, because things like this is exactly why Fiddlesticks is so good. He preys on champions and teammates not being coordinated. You see right there, of course, these dragon fights, which are really huge in FF and the game in particular right now, stacking the Dragon Soul. That's where Fiddlesticks is strong. He plays on the vision control. When he ults, of course, he gets that fear off, and he gets a bunch of damage and these kind of things. He preys on teams' over aggression, and that's why I think, especially the teams with the lower bottom, like Taz, SKL, and FS, I really suggest that they start picking Fiddlesticks.
Yeah, and you know what? There's something to be said for not only Fiddlesticks abusing lack of vision control, but look at how many pink wards there are down right now for the side of FS, and they've been keeping it like this the entire game. Not only are they trying to stay ahead of BBZ and make sure that they don't get any wards down themselves, probably trying to keep track of where they go, but also denying vision with this Fiddlesticks trinket. With all these pink wards going down, they see them sweeping the jungle pretty much non-stop, and it's been very good for them to just make sure that they can try and enable that Fiddlesticks and give him somewhere or some room to find these ultimates like he has been.
And of course, Out Your Mouth, who has the best name in all of FOF, of course, the #1 name ranking list. I was talking about how he was behind 2 levels. That he was level 3 when Dax was level 5, and right now he's actually ahead in XP at the moment. I mean, they're 8-8, but Dax just leveled up to level 8, and Fiddlesticks was level 8 before this, so he should be winning in the XP battle. We're gonna get a Herald thing. Herald right here. Where are they gonna put this?
CS in the jungle has come back so much in the favor of Fraud Squad so far.
Yes.
Actually, pretty much every single lane has started to catch up in CS except for Papa Bear in that top lane. However, Shen able to function on a very small amount of XP and gold. Shen obviously just has those CC tools, just has the shielding. A lot of it is in the utility, and so kind of isn't worried about getting all that much gold on hand. Start platings do go down before that Rift Herald can be used from Dax, and I agree with you. I'm wondering where they're going to put this. Obviously, I think they have to play for map pressure right now, maybe dropping it in the mid lane.
I always am in favor of dropping the Herald into the mid lane, just because I think that getting down that mid lane opens up so much when it comes to the map. Of course, it gives you sides to invade both jungles, and Jarvan is very good at invading, especially in Fiddlesticks. I think Fiddlesticks is actually pretty weak when it comes to invades, just because he's he's actually pretty squishy in general. As we're gonna see a gank right here, maybe?
Yeah, vision control on the bot side. I don't think BBZ knows where this Fiddlesticks is at the moment. Looks like there's going to be the channel flashing in. Surly, yes, on top of Tef. Tef burning the cleanse does get out of there. Immediate 3-man ulti from Orphic to disengage the fight. Rodog Ross under turret now, trying to get damage down onto Tef. There's the ultimate, blocked by Orphic, and Tef going very low, does not pick up the kill, but Orphic will. Orphic now 2v1 under turret, does miss the Vanish Toss, and there is a great stopwatch, but now fight on the top side. Immediately the Cataclysm down to Papa Bear. There's the first turret and a kill over to the Jarvan. A triple kill on the bot side for Orphic, picking up both the Jinx and the Fiddlesticks with those tower shots, and now it is just Gouchmaster left to trying to defend this Herald push as BBZ does go under tower. There's the Flag Drake. Jaffe returning back to the fight under the tower, going very low. Gouchmaster unable to land the QW, and now Dax is getting Gouch very low, but he is going to die surely to the tower aggro, and everyone dies across the map. Red is wondering what's going on in this game from the mid lane. Holy
so many tower dives, and I originally started FF when Orphic came in with the Orphic difference when he was playing on Spear, I believe it was. And right there, that was 100% Orphic diff. Orphic is one of, so far, has been piloting this Amumu support very, very well. I'm really impressed. I think Amumu support, by the way, is one of the best supports in the game, just because how much CC he provides. Very smart by him to engage and peel for Tef so well that entire fight. It locks down the entire FS bot lane and the jungle, gets the triple kill, as you said. And then LeBlanc is just toying with Dax and Jaffe on the top side, making them both juggle into the tower aggro. Jaffe right now has a 200 gold lead, by the way, because he's almost flame horizoning Papa Bear at the moment.
Wow, yeah, no, and that's huge. But yeah, no, Orphic, I love the re-engage there for the sake of peeling. When you're playing a champion like a Mumu, you don't really have options the way that a Thresh or a Janna would, something like that. That's something that peels so effectively. And so it just goes in, gets the re-engage, blocks the Jinx ulti that absolutely would have taken down Tef preemptively. And now there's the engage onto Rodog, just getting chain CC'd. There's the Solar Flare trying to get the BBZ off, but it's not going to happen. Tef is going to pick up the redemption kill. And now Dax going over the wall is backed up by the curtain call. Papa Bear taking some auto attacks, but right now it is looking on the side of Fro Murphy and Papa Bear as Orphic finally makes their way over. A great Vanish toss around the minion to get onto Fro Murphy, and now Tef under turret with the rest of BBZ. Red is there to back up, and in out has been spotted for the first time in the jungle there. Red trying to stop this Fiddlesticks as the rest of BBZ tries to rotate, does use the Protobelt to get out of the W there from Tef. And now we start to see some gold swing back the other way into the pockets of BBZ.
Fantastic Vanish toss right there, splitting the minions.
Oh, Jaffe deciding to go under turret there onto Gouchmaster. I don't know if he's going to be able to pick this up incredibly low, Gouchmaster. But now Papa Bear is going to finally claim that CS bounty that you were saying there. Grabbing the 1-in-1 now on Jaffe, but just so close on that calc, barely missing the damage onto Gouchmaster. There's the ultimate blocked by Orphic, and that is the Dragon number 3 going into the pockets of BBZ.
Despite Jaffe almost having a 100 gold lead, I actually think that Papa Bear and him are similar into the gold portion right now, just because Papa Bear has had so much kill participation throughout the game. He's at 8 kill participation while Jaffe's at 5. I think he has... Yeah, Papa Bear has the most kill participation on this team besides Rodog Ross.
Speaking of kill participation, can't ignore Orphic here on that movement on that Amumu. 7-4-7 on the Amumu support. That waddling little pumpkin doing so much for BBZ. What a great engage to get around the minion there. Obviously, Bandage Toss, the hitbox is only right at the end there, so you can get away with stuff like that. But yeah, no, just great engages so far from Orphic. This has really looked like their game.
He's really piloting this Amumu really well. I think that, in my personal opinion, I think Amumu is actually the best support in the game at the moment. I would love when my supports pick Amumu. I actually feel like I'm always going to win the game when my supports pick Amumu. That's why I loved seeing it so much, is the CC it provides, the ability to carry team fights is just huge.
Ooh. Orphic finding in out there. Tef does take the ultimate there from in out. There's the double ultimate, grabbing the cleanse there. Does manages to walk out of the Solar Flare, but now this 7-4-7 Amumu with that giant bounty. The re-engage there from Orphic onto Fraud Squad. It is 4v3. There's the TP in from Jaffe. Rodog Ross getting kind of low. Here comes Tef. Here comes Dax onto Fro Murphy. Completely left out to fight for himself, and there's no chance versus the entirety of BBZ. Kick out from Jaffe. There's a kill. A double kill onto the Fiddlesticks. Papa Bear getting very low, and I think it will just be Gouchmaster to escape this one. Finally taking down the big ol' Shen, and we have a minute on Dragon, or sorry, a minute on Baron, 3 minutes on Dragon. We have to be seeing the mid turret pushed in now by BBZ. Is Jaffe just toying around with the LeBlanc?
Jaffe senses blood. He's going to make this LeBlanc walk all the way back to tower. And right there was just a botch engaged by FS. Unfortunately, In-Out Your Mouth misplayed that and feared the Amumu for I don't really know why he decided to ult into Tef, trying to kill them, but you need to save that fear so you can get the damage off on your Crow Storm, I believe is what that name is called. And then unfortunately, just they did not disengage properly. The botch engage. Very smart by BBZ. Credit goes BBZ for reacting so quickly.
Yeah, I think it was kind of a last-ditch effort there from In-Out to try and get a kill onto Tef. Obviously, that Jhin being so immobile, able to use the cleanse to get out of there, did still have the flash available, but I think it just was not ready for Orphic to walk in and face check that bush, which completely denied the fear. And I think there, as Fraud Squad, you just kind of have to cut your losses. Maybe don't go for that big engage onto the Tef. Say that now, Jaffe taking a lot of damage on the top side. There's the Super Mega Death Rocket missing, but now 3 ultimates burned onto Jaffe in this top side. The shutdown is going to go over to Gouchmaster. But what will BBZ do with the lack of pressure now? There's the pretty much all of the ultimates on the side of FFS are now on CD. Will they be able to kind of defend their turrets now? They have so little available. Sure, there's the person down from Jaffe there for BBZ. Obviously not going to be able to use that Lee Sin, but is BBZ going to just let them get away with that? It looks like they might.
Unfortunately, just killing Jaffe, you don't really get anything because there's 0 objectives up right now. The only thing they can do is really get the gold off the Jaffe kill and securing your jungle camps and hopefully getting vision control over your jungle right now. There's a lot of wards on the side of BBZ, which is something that I think Orphic and Dax are very good at vision control in general. I think it's one of the strongest points of their entire game. As we see, thank you, Dax, for trying to prove me right with that securing vision right here.
And I think vision has been crucial here. We've seen the fights that BBZ has been in control has been when they spotted that Fiddlesticks, when Red found him on the blue side jungle, when Orphic found him mid lane. And it has very heavily revolved around this Fiddlesticks and the vision control that Fraud Squad has been able to hold throughout most of this game so far. And it's going to be whether or not they're going to be able to continue to find this in these later 5 versus 5 team fights as we start to see 2 or 3 items roll in from these champions. Kind of an unsung hero on the side of BBZ right now. Red been able to do so much in these fights, get so much CC down, a lot of damage, very high on gold right now, and is a very big threat that I think is very easy to ignore. Obviously, that Lissandra doesn't feel like a threat all the time, especially when it's Aftershock, but I think she's going to be able to be so tanky, get in, be very disruptive during these fights, and I think even if that Fiddlestick does find a way in, Lissandra's going to be a good way to get him out.
So, at the start of the season, I said the main questions of this team were BBZ, was the bot lane and the mid lane, because of course Champion Red was a former AD carry from the side of BBZ and he swapped into the mid. Orphic was a former top laner, swapped into the support. And they had a new AD carry on the side of Tef. And right now, I critique them both. In the bot lane right now, Dax and Tef and Orphic played a lot better. And like I said in the power rankings, Champion Red is starting to finally get into his groove on the side of mid lane. He plays a lot of these control mages and things with CC to help out with his team. And Lissandra's a perfect pick for him. As you said, he's providing so much CC, providing damage. He's got a lot of gold. And that's exactly his style. These things like Twisted Fate, Galio, Lissandra, all things that give him the ability to help out his team. And he's really finding his groove.
Looks like there's a couple people trying to find the fight there. There's the engage from Orphic, the flash out from In-Out. Now the Shen ulti goes down. Now Jaffe in the middle of Fraud Squad. Tef goes incredibly low from the burst from Lissandra. Dax blocking the Super Mega Death Rocket. And now there's a turn from BBZ. There's the curtain call on top, but there's so many kills going down already. A shot picked up from the Jhin, but Orphic running down Fraud Squad under turret. Papa Bear desperately trying to find some liberation from this assault from BBZ. Dax going deep, and that is the ace picked up from BBZ.
Yeah, unfortunately, just a very smart engage by Orphic. He caught out the Fro Murphy right there with the with his ulti, and from that point on, really the fight is really mixed. They almost got Tef down on the other side, and unfortunately, In-Out Your Mouth needs to stay on the sides of the lane to hopefully get these Crow Storms without vision, of course, because you get fear and these kind of things. There's much more damage, and they just caught him out in mid lane in vision, and unfortunately, he just could not get a good ulti off. Very smart engage by Orphic and BBZ. Nice follow up. As we're going to see, I think Jaffe just getting beat on for no reason, trying to get the tower.
Yeah, how different can that fight look if that Fiddlesticks was instead over the Rafter Pit on the red side of the map? just waiting for an engage, and there could have been so much additional damage there. Obviously, Tef going so low at the beginning of that fight, but that's okay for Jin. Jin doesn't need to be within anybody's burst range to get that damage off, throwing out the curtain calls, throwing out the W. Is able to stand that far back. That isn't a big deal. They didn't quite get the pick off there. But more importantly, the re-engage from the side of BBZ with Red going in alongside Orphic, alongside Jaffe, and then quickly followed up by Dax. There was so much damage layered on top of FS, who they thought they had maybe a small win there, having removed Tef from the fight. But your ADC is already so low. You had to spend so much to disengage. Speaking of disengage there, Red able to get out, does flash the Solar Flare, but now there's a teleport in the bot line from Jaffe. This is going to become a 2v2. They are walking into a Fiddlesticks, who's trying to find some Fog of War to hide in. Right now, Raw Dog Ross already going low, kind of running away though from the Fiddlesticks. Here he comes over the wall there. Jaffe getting feared up. There's the Superman Death Rocket onto the bottom side of the map. Doesn't quite pick up the kill, but there is the kill now from In Out Your Mouth. There are 4 people on this bot side of the map right now for Fraud Squad, picking up 1 kill, but this surely will be a tower dive onto Jaffe. No, it looks like Fraud Squad wants to just walk away and retreat because Baron is being taken this very moment by BBZ. A quick reaction by them. They have the numbers to take this down. Dax and Orphic along with Tef's damage, and now there's the teleport reaction there from Gouchmaster to try and break this up. Pro Murphy stancing on the side. 3k HP left on this Baron, and now they know how urgent it is. There's the engage now. Immediately on Orphic, trying to peel himself away, using the locket, using the ulti, does go down, and now they have taken them off of Baron. First kill goes down onto Gouchmaster. Tap trying to work with Dax here, finally finding that second kill. No, In Out does survive, and now Tef has to try and find their way out of here. Does get taunted up. The kill from Pro Murphy surely will follow, and now is the rotation for FS onto Baron.
Nice. Unfortunately, BBZ just decided to do the right play, but the problem is with their comp is that they do not take Baron quickly. It's very, very slow. Jin is a very slow AD carry to take Baron. Orphic is on this Amumu, but again, he's a support Amumu. He's not going to do much damage. Jarvan as well does not take Baron well. Raw Dog Ross, nice peel right now.
BBZ desperate to try and split this off. There's so much damage available right now from the Lissandra. Obviously does have that ultimate available walking into the middle of the team. Does pop. There's the Nash that goes over to the side of Fraud Squad, but the first kill already picked up there on a Raw Dog Ross. Now will Red be able to pick up Pro Murphy? Surely they will go down. No, Jaffe unstoppable on that Lee Sin right now, 8-2. So much tankiness starting to come in, and it's difficult to say that they can really do too much about Jaffe at the moment as he walks forward, kind of trying to take away Baron buffs at the moment.
Pop Baron needs the back right here. Losing Baron is really bad for his team. He's one of the only few that have Baron. I believe it's him and In Out Your Mouth that have the Baron. So he needs to survive right here. And I hate to be overcritical about builds and these kind of things, but that's always what I do when I caster. You know I'm the Toxic Caster of FOF, and Fro Murphy, by the way, bought second item QSS when he has Cleanse, which is a really bad build.
Yeah. Obviously Cleanse does feel like a QSS at the surface level. There's no suppressions on the side of BBZ, but Cleanse does follow that up by giving you the 65% tenacity for, 3 seconds. So if you're worried about the layered CC, Cleanse is going to be able to cover you for a lot of that. Obviously, Fro Murphy, more importantly, needs to be standing in safer positions, has been caught out in a lot of these fights so far, and that has been more to do with why Fro Murphy has died the 8 times that they have. But yeah, I don't think that going for QSS is really what you need right now as the Jinx. I think she's lacking a lot of damage, and she's lacking kind of I think a lot of it, damage, and then time to deal that damage because she's getting bursted so quickly.
The problem is that the reason that he is dying, yes, is from CC, but the problem is that his positioning is just so bad in these team fights in general. He needs to work on that. But he is a Jinx. That's probably one of the reasons why they pick FS on these Jinx and Fro Murphy, is that he can always be very strong as we see team fight here with the curtain call.
Looks like the chase is going to come out from the side of BBZ. That second bandage toss yet to be thrown from Orphic. Now Jaffe landing that Q. Is Jaffe going to try and take this? I wouldn't put it past him. Doesn't look like it's going to be happening though. Jaffe just backing off now, and BBZ allowing Gouchmaster to push in the spot lane. Of course, doesn't have the Baron buff. The Shen and Fiddlesticks are both in the mid lane right now, but I'd like to see In Out trying to establish some vision on maybe the bottom side of the map. Just be ready to take one of these fights. Don't be standing in vision as Fiddlesticks, because that's half of your effectiveness, is that AoE CC. Now it looks like BBZ is going to rotate towards that dragon spawning so soon. Maybe try and deal with Gouchmaster on the bottom side of the map as they start to set up vision for this Fiddlesticks, which is crucial.
One of the things that BBZ is doing so well is that they're getting these vision. They're getting these spots where Fiddlesticks cannot flank you on. Of course, he should be in these sides and these kind of things and sweeping vision and hopefully getting out these fog of war things.
They need to be there by now. The dragon just spawns. This is giving over for mid-outer. This is not worth it, FS. You're looking at losing the dragon soul right now. The Inferno, or the Mega... Super Mega Death Rocket was blocked, and that's soul given over for mid-outer. I don't think that this push is going to get it to you. I mean, maybe they'll grab the additional 600 gold, but now the engage comes in from Orphic going down on top of that Fiddlesticks. In-out is immediately down. Now is the full engage from BBZ. Tef kind of caught over the wall right now. Murphy trying to desperately kite away from that little pumpkin who's chasing him down so much. Speaking of so much damage from Red so far. Tef finally finding their way into this fight, grabbing the snare onto the LeBlanc. Now Jaffe holding that Q to stay on top of Gouchmaster. Papa Bear going so low, but now Gouchmaster is on the backline effectively. The double kill picked up for Tef, and now BBZ happy to take that trade. The solo kill from Orphic onto Murphy, and another ace for BBZ, only trading Dax.
Gouchmaster played that fight really, really well to the block, but unfortunately he just wasn't enough. He got CC'd by a nice bandage toss from, oh, excuse me, not bandage toss, a nice layered CC by Red and Jaffe, and very smart team fight. This should be game, I believe. As we'll see Fiddlesticks come up right now in 1 second.
Does have the ulti available, does have flash, might channel it behind the Nexus, but he's going to have to do it very, very soon. There it is. There's the engage, the flash immediately. Red popping the ulti on himself. Fiddlesticks in the Zhonya's. A lot of BBZ actually starts to go very low, but now it's just the Leona for damage. How are you going to find the kill? Stopwatch popped in the middle of the team. I say that, but grabbing the kill onto Red. Rawdog Ross grabbing a 1-for-1 for himself. And it looks like BBZ's actually going to have to back off because there's the Super Mega Death Rocket landing on Orphic, but that soul shield is huge.
Nice Crystal Prison by Red to bait out to the Fiddlesticks. We're gonna see a TP right here. All right, this might be good.
From
Gouchmaster, if he can get a kill on Tef, this is huge. Oh no, he shouldn't.
Find somebody gets the chain down onto Tef, but I don't think anything's gonna come out of that legendary now from Jaffe. This has been such a good game on this Lee Sin. You were saying about KP earlier. Look at the numbers that Jaffe's holding right now. 248 CS, 11, 2, and 10. This Lee Sin is looking good in the late game, and that's not supposed to happen.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate play by Gouchmaster. I like the TP play, but he should have just waited for the Tef and to get him killed. He has this huge bounty right now, and that would have really been huge for him. I think if he would have killed Tef and got out, it's actually really, really worth. But he unfortunately decides to try to engage on an unkillable target, unfortunately. We're going to see... Alright, does Romo die here?
I think if they get the reaction time here, there's the flag stopping the recall now from Murphy, trying to flash out. Doesn't realize that Red's already there. I think Dax could have probably taken this one solo. Are they going to wait for the Shen TP? Nope. Just grabbing the 1 kill, and immediately the insect play there from Jaffe. Just trying to take down In-Out. Rawdog Ross trying to get there to help the poor Fiddlesticks out. There's Gouchmaster, but how are you going to kill this Lee Sin? Down to only half HP, the full combo from LeBlanc. Legendary as he takes down In-Out, your mouth in there by himself for so long that Red and Dax are able to come help out. The double kill now for Jaffe as they start to take down FS. There's the triple kill for Jaffe, and Tef comes in to say, hey, I'm here too, as they start to walk towards the Nexus. A 14k gold lead at the 32-minute mark. BBZ starts to march down to victory.
A solid win by BBZ.
Yeah, it looked a little bit inconsistent at some points. Obviously, their mid game, they started to give away a little bit of gold over to the side of FS. But overall, yeah, once they started getting into those team fights, that team coordination that we're used to seeing from BBZ, they are a well-established team at this point, came through, and they looked very solid. Not to say anything against Fraud Squad, you know, obviously they don't pick up that win, which would have been very nice for them. Huge amount of damage.
Look at my boy, dude.
Look at him go. But this is confidence boosting. It has to be confidence boosting for the side of FS. I hope that they can take something positive from this because they did look good when they found this place with the Fiddlesticks. But really, you can only pull so many tricks with Fiddlesticks, and once they got their 2 done, BBZ shut it down.
Look at my boy Jaffe, man. I feel like I have to have a public announcement and apology for my boy, dude. I think that we've been holding him back, man. Since he stopped playing with me, look at him. He's carrying the worst organization in all of FOF. Look at him.
Oh,
BBZ ain't shit.
Yeah, you're gonna earn yourself some favorite points there. But earning ourselves some favorite points is going to be our interviewee from the side of BBZ. That interview is going to be following us very shortly, so don't go anywhere.
Hello, folks. Chris Edgeworth here with our third interview tonight, and I'm joined by Jaffe, the top laner from Blue Bayou Zoo. How you feeling after the win?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. That was a really fun game to play.
It was certainly fun to watch. It's very interesting getting to see just how many kills you folks can cram into a 30-minute game. So it seemed like there was no limit to how much you guys wanted to fight.
Yeah, so the season was ending, so we thought we'd farm up kills and stuff. So yeah, we decided to do that.
A little bit of a KDA game. So let's talk about the draft then. So you ended up on the Lee Sin, and you ended up against the Fiddle, who we've started to see crop up a little bit more lately on the other side, as well as some more conventional picks. But there's also Gouchmaster was trying to pop off on the LeBlanc, was something that I thought was interesting. What were your thoughts on the draft that you ended up with on BBZ and what you ended up against?
Yeah, I saw how they had they picked a lot of magic damage, so I thought I would pick someone kind of tanky and someone I would have fun with. So I said Shen, or not Shen, Lee Sin, because he's also good against Fiddlesticks because I can just kick him away from my team. But we also wanted to like something team fighted or team fight oriented. That's something we're trying to practice, and I kind of steered away from a split pusher, which I'm really comfortable with playing. But yeah, I really wanted to like get more involved with the team fights this time.
Now, this game started off obviously with the 5-man snag at level 1, and then against your lane opponent, and then it really snowballed from there into a quick, like, I want to say it was 5-0 or 7-0 or something like that. It got like really out of hand really quickly. How did it feel in this game when you got this far ahead, and when it started to a couple kills started creeping back the direction? How strongly did you feel about this win, and how you ended up taking it decisively in the end?
Yeah, so early when Orphic threw a nasty flash Q, that was really ballsy. We were pretty juiced about having a lead already, level 1. Then we got a double kill bot. So we were really like pumped and trying to like snowball that. And then Fiddle, Shen, their 6 is pretty nasty. So we kind of had to slow it down. And at that time I was still freezing top lane, doubled Shen CS, which was part of my plan because I know Shen is gonna be teleporting a lot, so I had to freeze and get ahead by CS. And then I showed up for team fights and made a big impact through that.
So with the changes to Lee Sin in the recent times, I thought Lee Sin was originally slated to fall off in this game. It seems there was no such time for that to happen for you. Do you feel like that's still true? Or what are your thoughts on Lee Sin now in season 11?
I feel like Lee Sin was really strong before he was nerfed, but the changes, they're still he's still strong. I feel like he's still a good top laner, jungler. But I feel like you just have to know how to use him. I've played a lot of Lee Sin, so I kind of know my limits. Sometimes I miscalculate it, but I mean, it still works out in the end.
All right. Well, Jaffe, thanks so much for this interview. Before we step away, I don't want to forget. Let me get your final thoughts on your final matchups here. So there's 3 matchups left. You folks will be against H Block tomorrow, and then against Church of Alfonso and Skill Based in the final week. How are you feeling now that the path is open to a possible first place berth for BBZ?
I kind of honestly, I kind of don't want first place. I don't want that much like light onto us. So I want Yui to take first place, to be honest. But pretty sure we're gonna wreck H Block tomorrow. We're gonna, we wrecked them last time off stream, and I mean, I pretty much Jitta, I think was his top laner. He ran the wrong runes, as what he said last interview, but he also ran like a bunch of wrong stuff. So I think he's just not, doing things correctly. But anyways, I'm pretty sure we're gonna win tomorrow, next week too. But yeah.
All right. Well, we'll have to see how everything shakes out in the end. Jaffe, any final thoughts before we step away? Any shout outs, any banter you didn't have an opportunity for?
No. Well, actually, I do want to say one thing. I stopped betting my Shyvana. I don't want to play her anyways. But yeah, it's fun to see how people are banning Shyvana against me. Like, it's not like I play her all the time, but yeah.
That's okay. It's a free ban. I guess your team can just be grateful that
Yeah.
that it works out in the end. All right. Well, thanks so much, Jaffe. Congrats to BBZ. And folks, we do have one more game coming up, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back after a short break.